Hi, welcome to Ginger on the Run. I'm Sarah Jane Murray, and today we're going to be going over budget camping. We're all sort of pinching pennies at the moment, and nature is an incredible option to get you out, get you doing something fun, raise those serotonin levels, do something healthy not only for your body but also for your mind. It has been scientifically proven that if you spend time in nature, your anxiety will lessen. Those of you who are experiencing depression, this might be a good option for you. If you don't have a lot of experience camping, this blog will help guide you into a few options that will ease you into the world of camping. There are free campgrounds out there. I'm talking absolutely free. Those are usually called dispersed camping, and they're often found on BLM property. If you don't know what BLM stands for, BLM is the acronym for Bureau of Land Management. The main campgrounds that'll pop up exist within national parks, and those can get really, really pricey. There are so many cool, incredible, isolated campgrounds that are just outside of national parks. The thing you do need to keep in mind is that usually when it's a dispersed campground, they might have potable water. You'd be lucky if they do. They might have toilets, not flushing ones, but they're just kind of like outhouses, glorified outhouses. So do keep that in mind. When you go, you need to pack out everything that you pack in. Don't let not having water and not having toilets scare you, because you're probably going to be driving distance to a gas station. You can always use the facilities there. And now you're probably wondering, well, how do I find these campgrounds if they're not the first ones to pop up when you're searching for camping near a national park? Well, you can always visit their website at www.blm.gov, and then you'll see tons of different options. There's ones that will be for long-term camping. The price might be like, I don't know, $200 for 2 months, which, break that down day by day, so cheap. And then free ones will pop up. Double check every single time that you're about to go what the requirements are for permits, what the rules are when it comes to creating campfires, or if there's water or if there's toilets, because you want to be as prepared as possible. You don't want to show up and not have toilet paper or not have, it's kind of funny because it's COVID-19 and none of us have toilet paper. You don't want to go unprepared. So just make sure you read up on the rules and regulations. You also don't want to get ticketed, so have your permits ready if they're required. Always, always, always bring cash. I'm not talking like a debit card or a credit card. Have actual cash on hand, because when you are driving into state parks or national parks, you'll have to put your money into an envelope, list the campground that you're in, and it's kind of tricky if you don't have that available. So just make sure you're prepared. Don't have a tent? Don't have a sleeping bag? That's okay. I will often just do car camping. I have a Prius, so I'll flop down the back seats. I'll put the sleeping mat on top of them. It's super easy. If you're currently Googling sleeping mats and all that's popping up is Thermarest, which usually starts at like $80 or $90, I believe, don't freak out. That's not the kind that you have to get, or, I mean, you can if you want. It's a nice investment for the future, but there are sleeping mats out there for like 15, 20 bucks. I believe you can get them at Walmart. REI even has them for super cheap. They're gonna be made out of foam, not air, and they'll look kind of like this. Really lightweight, take up practically no room. This is a great alternative option if you don't want to just be sleeping straight on top of your seats, because that can get pretty uncomfortable. Lay this puppy down, take the comforter from your bed, take the pillows from your bed, and set up a nice little nook just for yourself. And now you're probably thinking, well, it's such a hassle because I don't want to take my camping stove. Getting a bunch of food together is so exhausting and so expensive. Something that has completely changed the game for me and saved my life so many times is the Jetboil. This guy is so incredibly compact, lightweight. Your fuel canister fits inside. This is the burner. And then you have this cup, which can be a measuring cup if you need it to be. It can also just be a dish, a bowl, whatever suits your fancy. Bring a couple of pre-packaged soup cups, my personal favorite. It is Split Pea Soup by Dr. McDougall's. It's vegan, has 15 grams of protein, tons of fiber, and it's incredibly lightweight. This is a super easy thing to pack. Once you have your Jetboil, you can boil water in 60 seconds, fill this puppy up, and you're good to go for lunch or dinner. Then pack yourself a couple of granola bars, fruit that you know can stand being not refrigerated, like oranges, grapefruits, and then grab a couple of really hearty vegetables, and you're spending probably less than $10 a day on food. Now that we're all set with preparation on how to go camping on a budget, and you feel a little bit more confident and you're ready to hit the road, I'm going to do something that I almost didn't do, or I thought about not sharing, because these are some of my absolute favorite places. I feel like it would be selfish for me to keep it to myself, and I want you guys to feel the same sort of joy and excitement that I have by going to these places. In no particular order, we have Alabama Hills Recreation Area and the Tuttle Creek Campground. They're both right next to each other near Whitney Portal, and these are really great places if you're exploring both Death Valley and the Eastern Sierras, because it's sort of that in-between spot. Emigrant Campground, it's just outside of Death Valley National Park, and it's completely free. There's no trees or rocks or anything to separate the campgrounds, but they do have toilets, which that is awesome. They don't have water, but they do have toilets, so bring your own water. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people say that they really want to go to Yosemite. I think that's wonderful. Yosemite is one of the most beautiful places on this planet. However, campgrounds in Yosemite are either insanely expensive or they're all completely booked. It's a constant traffic jam these days, and you're right up against your neighbors. It can be kind of loud, so if you're wanting a really magical Eastern Sierra experience that is just outside of Yosemite Valley, there's this campground that's called Saddlebag Lake. It is the most wonderful hidden gem of the Eastern Sierras, and I stand by that. It is actually the center of a dormant volcano. You can either take a little boat across the lake or you can hike along the lake shore. That'll take you to the start of a 20 lake loop. It's about 5 miles. You'll go past fields covered in wildflowers, waterfalls. This is one of my favorite hidden gems. I would say that or Tuolumne Meadows or Tioga Lake. And you can still go into the valley for a day or two, whatever you want, but now you have access to a campground that's a little bit more isolated, has a better view, it's a little bit more quiet. Big Sur. Big Sur can be very, very expensive, even when it comes to campgrounds. I remember when I was 16, we only paid, I think, $40 for a campsite, which that's still pretty steep. But I recently drove up there and I was checking out prices, and it's $85 for a campsite. To sleep on dirt under a tree, you have to pay $80. So there's a campground that is just at the very, very, very southern tip of Big Sur, and that is called Kirk Creek Campground. I'm so unsure that I'm sharing this. It is a beautiful bluff or plateau that looks out upon the entire Big Sur coastline. And then there's even a little trail that takes you down to this beautiful rocky beach. I can't think of any other campground in Big Sur that has that type of view. And you'll be paying about half price of what you would normally pay inside Big Sur. If you're looking to do a little bit more of a desert landscape, there is the Trona Pinnacles Campground and the Juniper Flats Campground, and they're both in the Mojave Desert. They offer a very Mars-like landscape. Keep in mind that spring and fall are the busy season for desert camping and for desert parks. If you're unsure if your location requires a permit, you can always check the United States Department of Agricultural website, and that's at fs.usda.gov. I hope that this has provided you with a budget-friendly option to go out and have some fun. Please stay tuned, I have a lot more good stuff coming your way. Like and subscribe below if you thought this video was helpful. Until next time, guys. Bye!